I think it's okay to record from here because it's still introduction. Okay, we are talking about IP as intangible property. Okay, and then on top of intangible property is also intangible wealth. Because why? People, okay, anyone who has intention, okay, they can easily appropriate and they can easily reproduce. What more in the IP or what more in AI world nowadays? Okay, so the moment it's being created, it can be reproduced easily with little cost or maybe zero cost. Okay, just copy, copy, copy. I mean, you don't create. You are not inventing. You just copying it. So it amounts to infringement, obviously. Okay, so that's why the last bullet it says here, unique aspect of IP. It is easily reproduced. And duplication here, sometimes minimal cost, little cost, or even zero cost. You just duplicate. Okay, for example, a book. Okay, the simple example, okay, a book copyright attached, I mean the IP right is copyright. So you go to any photocopier, okay, you photocopy the book. So you just pay little money compared to you are buying the new book altogether. Okay. That's an example. But nowadays, I think, especially online, you can easily copy it without any cost. Actually, you can just copy, and then you can screenshot whatsoever. Still, it amounts to reproduction, especially without permission lah. All right. Okay, let's move forward. Okay. And then, okay, whatever issue, okay, I mean, we are looking at a deeper role now. Okay, what's the role of IP as intangible property here? Okay, so first and foremost, okay, the concern of the creator or even the inventor, okay, is all revolve around economic rights. Because why? They invent, okay, and then they invest money, okay, they spend, so they want to recoup their investment or their money, okay. So that's why it's all about economic rights attached to IP here. And then the second bullet there, okay, commercial exploitation of owner of IP. I mean, they have the rights. Okay, legally speaking, they have the rights to exploit their invention or their creation here. Okay, their creative creation. And then what more? Okay, I mean, we talk about investment. Okay, they invest a lot of money. For example, patent. Okay, patent over drugs. Okay, I mean, they invest heavily. So that's why they want to have monopoly over their invention. They want to exploit it. Okay, and then they exclude others. Okay, from copying. And then what more? Okay, if any company or even any country which have a strong IP, okay, IP profile, so they can also have technology transfer lah to facilitate technology transfer here. Okay, they can exchange technology, right? And then last but not least, okay, IP is important. The role of IP here, it promotes cultural development and creative industries lah. So that's why country with strong IP law in theory, so they can promote, okay, they can actually encourage, okay, people to be more creative. Because why? Everything is protected, so no one can easily infringe over your rights here, and you can actually recoup or you can generate money from your invention. So that's the for creative industries lah. Yeah. Okay, let's move forward. Okay, now, okay, why do we need IP protection? Okay, why the law is important when we talk about IP here? Okay, first, it safeguards investment. Like I said just now, kan? I mean, they spend a lot in R&D, research and development. So they want to safeguard, they want to protect their investment. They want to recoup, okay, their investment. They want to make money, profit out of their creation or their invention here. And then at the same time, okay, it prevents free riding and unauthorized use. That's why we must have, I mean, IP law is meant to be, I mean, to achieve this objective, okay, to prevent free riding as well as unauthorized use. And then on top of that, especially for example for trademark, okay, it will build brand loyalty and consumer trust because strong IP, I mean, it's only for you alone and it's, I mean, no one is creating or producing fake product, for example. So your brand is so strong, so it creates I mean brand loyalty as well as consumer trust. I mean, it's true for all the big brands, kan. For example, even in a digital area, Samsung, iPhone, whatsoever. Okay, if for example luxury item, handbag, for example, okay, or even clothing, okay. I mean all those big brands lah. Okay, it creates loyalty. I mean, people are willing to pay heavily, okay, pay a lot of money because they trust the brand so much. Okay, and they know this brand is very, very high brand lah. Okay, and then all the bullets are all interrelated here. Okay, why we doing it? Why it justifies IP protection? So it will encourage innovation through legal certainty. I mean, the stronger the law is, I mean, in theory, so it should encourage more innovation. It will spur innovation. Okay, through legal protection or through legal certainty, law which is very certain. Okay, which is very efficient. And then, as I said just now, the latest issue or latest or emerging focus now is how to protect innovation, okay, in AI world, okay. And there's also lots of discussion revolving around AI. For example, who should be responsible kan behind AI here? Okay, what more? For example, you are preparing for your assignment, okay, and then you ask ChatGPT, whatever AI, okay, and then you come up with your own work. So is it really your work or is it copyrightable? Okay, I mean that one is still okay. But what if they use AI to invent something? Okay, invent smart car for example, and something happened, and then there's injury for example. Who should be responsible? Okay, later lah, right? So that one is all discussion revolving around AI. All right. Here again, it's like merely repetition just now. Okay, this is IP as a property or I mean, whenever it involves commercialization here, why is that so? I mean, what is so unique about IP here? Despite that it is intangible, but it can be sold. Okay, it can be bought, it can be assigned. I mean, you don't want to sell, you can assign your rights here. Okay, and then it's also leasable. I mean, it's possible to lease out here either through licensing. Okay, it's either exclusive license or non-exclusive license. And then it's also transferable, something which you can transfer wholly the ownership, okay, through wills, okay, through inheritance is possible. And then last but not least, of course, it's all about generating revenue, okay, through royalties and licensing agreement. But of course, different IP has different duration lah. Okay, for example, copyright. Do you know how long is copyright, Taufik? Copyright will last for how long?
6 years, from.
uh, Copyright, for example, Piramli, okay, the song, okay, all right. So how long it will last? How long the whoever entitled for the royalty can claim royalty for how long? It's not forever. Okay, there are certain duration for copyright, for example.
Oh.
Hmm. Okay, for copyright, author's life, okay, plus 50. I mean, the
Oh.
moment the author's died, okay, 50 years after his death. So, Piramli recently dah cukup tau 50, right? Actually, so
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
why the son cannot get royalties anymore for the song lah. Okay, the song composed by Piramli. Muhammad, we are talking about the famous composer, okay, of Malaysia. I mean, he died long time ago, and recently, okay, it has been 50 years after his death. So the son cannot claim the royalties anymore. Okay, so all this while, the son, I mean, the children, they are benefiting, okay, from the songs, okay, the songs, specifically the song. Because why? The film, it has been a debate, and the film belongs to the company. Okay, it doesn't belong to the author, so cannot get royalty from the film. But for the songs, yes, okay, entitled to get royalty. I mean, that's one for copyright lah. Okay, just to give you example. I mean, it's not for forever. I mean, the moment it is over, okay. So it is considered as within public domain. Anyone can copy lah. Okay, no longer no more rights lah to protect. Okay, no more protection given to this copyright. Okay, for the legal framework, okay, if you were to break it into two, okay, I mean we can put it under first under administration, okay, and then another one will be under machinery, okay, the mechanism here. So for administration, in Malaysia, we have specific statutory bodies, okay, or it is known as MyIPO, okay, Intellectual Property of Malaysia. So it has a website which is very useful, okay. Most of the uh I mean most of the information are there. If you can I mean you can just search and then it's there. I mean introduce the patent, okay, all the IP laws, and then it has also all the latest statistics, okay, of whatever things granted, okay, registration, for example. So MyPo here, okay, they are the custodian of IP registration. I mean, everything must go through registration, okay, through MyPo, via MyPo. And also they are also involved in certain enforcement lah with regards to IP infringement. Okay, and then in Malaysia, on top of MyPo, we also in for judiciary, we have specialized IP court, if you are aware. Okay, and for these courts, they handle disputes relating to IP. So the judges are trained, okay, so that they can hear cases relating to IP cases lah, case law. Okay, that doesn't matter. Is it copyright? Is it patent? Okay, or is it natural design, for example? Everything goes to this court, specialized IP courts. Okay, for the machinery key of justice here, we have internal, we have external. For internal, goes back to MyPo again, okay, whatever services are offered by MyPo. And for external, okay, judiciary here, it will cover courts. And we also have police, we also have enforcement bodies, all external, in order to enforce the law relating to IP. Because without enforcement, the law means nothing. I mean, the law is just merely black letter law. Okay, we need enforcement. Okay, so that the law will be effective. Okay, will serve the objective. Okay, this later we are going to dedicate one specific topic, okay, to cover this alone. Okay, I mean we have lots of international convention, and Malaysia usually we are always in the forefront to accede to all the laws here, so that we are going to adopt, okay, whatever important part we put it into our law lah. Okay, we keep on amending our law here. So we have a Paris Convention, okay, for protection of natural property. It was adopted in 1883, all the classic convention, but still remains relevant until today. We also have Berne Convention. Okay, Berne is meant for copyright. Okay, Paris meant for patent lah actually. Okay, Berne Convention for the protection of literary and artistic works. It was adopted in 1886. And then the recent one, the useful one or very, very influential one, we have TRIPS. Okay, but the full name would be Trade-Related Aspects of IP agreement. Okay, this one signed in 1994. Okay, because it was done through WTO. I mean, all members are compelled, okay, to agree. Otherwise, they cannot do trades. Okay, for Paris and Bern, I mean, members have right whether to be the member or not. Okay, I mean, the country can be the member or not. But for trips, okay, usually no choice. You want to have a trade, okay, international trade, you must exceed, you must adopt trips here. Later we learn. Okay, 1994. We also have a digital agenda, which is or it is known as WCT. It combines two. Okay, we have WCT, WIPO copyright treaty. Okay, as well as WPPT. Okay, stands for WIPO performances and phonogram treaty. Okay, at global stage we have WIPO. Okay, World IP organization. Okay, WIPO is like the one who oversee everything. So Paris and Bern under WIPO, but for TRIP it's not under WIPO. TRIP under WTO, Trade Organization. Okay, and then another one PCT, that one for patent. Okay, Patent Cooperation Treaty. That one is concluded in 1970. So we have more, but this is the main one. So at least five lah. Okay, but later we are going to spend one whole lecture to discuss about this alone later lah. Alright, towards the end of the week. Okay, let's move forward. We are still in the introduction part. Okay, now let's have a look at Malaysian law. Okay, now the laws for IP in Malaysia. I don't put the word Malaysia here. So the laws for IP protection in Malaysia. So in Malaysia, we have this act, specific acts here. So we have CA, Copyright Act 1987. We have Trademarks Act 1970, but now we have the latest amendment, okay, 2019, recent amendment. We have Patents Act 1983, or we call it PA, just now CA, PA, KTMA, Trademarks Act. We also have IDA, okay, Industrial Design Act 1996. We also have GI, Geographical Indications Act 2000, and we have recent amendment, okay, GIA 2022. And then on top of this specific statute here, it is supplemented with torts as well. Okay, so under torts law, we have passing off. And we have another law, okay, which is known as confidential information. So altogether, we have quite a number of laws here. This is all the legal framework, the laws in Malaysia, legislation. So throughout the discussion or throughout the lecture, throughout the week, okay, the semester, we are going to look at some of the acts lah, according to the topic. Okay. Actually, my area, I'm more on patent actually. Okay. Uh, actually, the course, the custodian of the course is Prof. Ida. Okay, so Prof. Ida, usually she will be the one who's teaching the course, but sometimes she's very busy. She has lots of consultation work and research grant. So she said, okay, this semester I teach. So I teach lah. I'm her supervisee. Last time I did my PhD with her. She's my co-supervisor. So it's like my student lah. Okay, I'm still her student even until now. Okay, so I'm the mentor mentee. So I'm her mentee. So usually I'll refer to her slide and then I'll discuss with her whenever I'm not sure lah about anything. So let's say you're having some complicated questions or burning question that I cannot answer straight away. So I will chat with her and I'll get back to you. Okay, I mean she's a professor in law. She's retiring next year actually. So that's why she focused more on all the important things lah. So lecture, she said, oh, she can pass it to me. So I'm here. But she's more on copyright. But for myself, I'm more on patent because my PhD is on patent law. Okay. All right. Okay, now we are talking about enforcement, okay, enforcing IP rights and the mechanism. This is just for introduction. I mean, just some brief the basic info here. Okay, for civil action, okay, whenever party goes to the court, okay, individual versus individual. So I mean, the focus is to get monetary compensation. I mean, they are suing another party to get money. But for criminal prosecution, okay, they cannot get money from the defendant, but it's meant for deterrence lah. Okay. And then for whatever fine, for example, okay, whatever monetary, I mean, you have to pay certain fines, for example, that one is administrative measures via MIPO, the custodian of IP in Malaysia. And then in terms of enforcement, okay, we also have this, we call it KPD and HEP. Okay, that one is acronym in Bahasa. But in English, okay, it refers to Ministry of Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs. So from time to time, actually, they will help the IP owner, okay, to do raid, for example, okay, to enforce their rights. So it's possible. Okay. And then nowadays in AI world nowadays the IP owner, they have to be vigilant. I mean, they cannot really rely solely on this enforcement division. Okay, so they are on their own. They have to be vigilant. I mean, they have to really oversee, they have to monitor who's infringing their rights, okay, whether their business is affected, for example. Okay, so they have this enhanced vigilance. And then even they can leverage or they can rely on AI to detect online infringement, for example, because infringement online can, I mean, occur easily. Okay, and it happens so fast nowadays. Okay. All right, we are going towards the end of the intro part here. For criminal prosecution, okay, this is basically the processes or this is the flow. Okay, usually it will start from the complaint, okay, by the owner of the IP, or we call it right holders, and then it goes to police lah, okay, investigation by police and enforcement agencies, and then whichever is relevant depending on the law, okay, they are I mean they're applying. So it could be penalties or even fines, or even if the case goes to the court, okay, I mean, it might involve imprisonment as well. And then, but for criminal prosecution here, there's no monetary compensation. I mean, as opposed to civil action here. I mean, you cannot get money from the defendant, the one who infringe your right. But the defendant can be fined, okay, have to pay penalty, or maybe can be imprisoned, but cannot get money, okay, for whatever losses suffered by the right holder or by the IP owner here. This is for criminal prosecution. Okay, for the type of infringement here, we have two types. Okay, it's either, or it can be both. It's either primary infringement, it's either secondary infringement. Okay, for primary infringement here, it refers to unauthorized, of course, without consent. Okay, unauthorized creation, of infringing products. I mean, you create the product, the actual creation of the product here. Okay, act of copying here. But for secondary infringement, you don't create the product, but you are involved in distributing the infringing product here. Okay, or even you are selling it off, you are importing, okay, the infringing materials or goods here. Okay, so selling, leasing, offering for trade, or even you importer. I mean, the liability could go to import the one who importing counterfeit products. So can be liable as well. Okay, even though you are not the one who create this infringing product or materials here. Okay, that one is for IP infringement types. Okay, and then if we look at statistics, this is available or at MyPo website. Okay, I mean they keep on updating, okay, from time to time. So if you were to make some analysis here, if you were to compare, okay, even though we have a strong law, so-called relatively strong law in Malaysia, but in terms of IP owner or who own IP in Malaysia overall, okay, who own patent, okay, overall in Malaysia. So actually in terms of percentage, local owner only more or less 20%. Okay, the rest goes to foreign owner. Okay, for example, Apple, Samsung, all those big multi corporation MNC. Okay, for local IP owners, I mean it covers patent, trademark. Okay, so 20% only, more or less. I mean not much lah. Even though we have all the laws, good laws, okay, to protect the interest of the IP owner, but we are still lagging behind. I mean, we are still not really at the fast pace lah. Okay, we are still crawling. Okay, the space is still crawling. I mean, we are going up, but then during pandemic it goes down. Okay, and then now we are still crawling up again. Okay, slowly. All right, and then for government initiative here, it can be, I mean, it is done through MyPo as well here. So there is IP valuation and IPO or MyPo, they have a series of courses actually. Okay, they want to encourage SME, for example, to go and register or to go and protect their rights here. So under initiative here, I mean, they have lots of trainings and awareness program. Even I was involved last time with giving public talk lah, okay, to SME. Last time we focus on, I mean, we have the budget allocation. So we target certain SME, okay, and then they attend our talk or classes, and then they have the awareness. Oh, they know, oh, they are business owner, but they don't really register their trademark, for example. So we give them awareness and we guide them how to register so that they can protect their rights, actually. Okay, so this is all the initiative. All right, and as I said just now, okay, we have this all the latest or current trends here, emerging trends, AI lah, obviously, okay, integration of AI and machine learning in IP management. I mean, in what way IP is relevant or the interface, okay, IP and AI. And then another issue is cross-border. Okay, enhanced cross-border cooperation for enforcement. Okay, what more infringing material from one country to another. So because most of the time IP protection is regional. I mean, you register in Malaysia, it's protected in Malaysia, but you don't register in Singapore, so it's not protected in Singapore. For example, patent or even trademark. It's very regional in nature. And then, I mean, we keep on. I mean, this is ongoing process. Okay, strengthen digital copyright protections under WIPO standards. We keep on reviewing our law. We keep on amending our law to make it up to the standard. Or sometimes we are slightly above the standard. Okay, we need that. Oh, we have a strong IP protection in Malaysia. All right, and then just now, okay, under WIPO, WCT, and WPPT, okay, here. So these two, for example, they are specifically designed to address the rights of creators in the digital environment. And then for Malaysia, yes, okay, we are always in the forefront actually, okay. So we have implemented measures to align, to make it standardized, okay, with copyright laws, international one. And then, I mean, for whatever thing related to digital online here, so it covers work disseminated or spread online, okay, distributed online, or measures against unauthorized digital reproduction and safeguards of for electronic rights management. That one later. Okay, I mean, we are going to discuss later specifically for all the topics here. This is just merely introduction. Okay, that's it for introduction. Is everyone okay? Only two of you anyway. Muhammad, are you following? This is just introduction to give you some ideas about IP and then I mean some topics that we're going to cover throughout the semester. Muhammad, are you
Yes,
okay?
yes, I'm following, madam. Thank you.
Following. Okay, Alhamdulillah. Can we have a break for 3 minutes, okay? So that we can continue with IP and Islam after this. Okay. So we break for 3 minutes. Okay, short break. Before we go to the second part of the lecture for tonight.
Okay, Prof.
So I'm stop sharing. Okay, let's continue. I hope everyone is still in front of their laptop. Both of you. Okay, I'm sharing my slide. Hold on. Okay, so the topic or the title of the second part of our lecture tonight, which is meant for week one, okay, Islamic perspective on IP rights or IPR here, and the slides actually belong to Prof. Ida, but I have made some editing to it. Okay, I did some minor editing. Actually, the slide contain more slides, but I cut short some of the slide because it's not really my area, this IP, I mean, Islamic perspective and IP. So we will try to just focus on the brief part or the basic part of IP, right? I mean, Islamic perspective or and IP rights here. Prof. Ida, she did her PhD in this area. So that's why she's an expert for Islamic perspective on IP rights here. Okay, for tonight's discussion, okay, it will revolve around five key points or elements here. Actually, the focus of all the key points here is to see or to look at Sharia principle as the foundation, okay, to evaluate legitimacy of IPR, whether Islam recognize IPR or not. Okay, because generally it has some debates. Okay, because some school of thought they said no, there's no verse or nothing in Quran or Sunnah which recognize or it's not really legitimate. Okay, to protect IPR or to allow monopoly because IP usually it is associated with monopoly. Okay. All right, so the subtopic under this topic will be we have five. So we are going to have a look at the Sharia and its sources. And then we are looking at some of the related relevant textual provision. And then a little bit of recognition in fiqh because not my area as well, okay, fiqh law, even though we have I mean I have some exposure during my secondary school, but it was a long time ago, okay. And then we also have a historical approach, I mean some legal jurists lah, okay, some classical scholars, Muslim scholars, their views. And last but not least, okay, the focus is on maqasid approach, okay, maqasid syariah approach here. So altogether, there are five important parts or key points that we are going to look at for tonight's lecture. So we're going to start with Sharia and its sources. Okay, so Sharia, of course, you know it is Arabic term. Okay, what more Muhammad is from Yemen, so he knows better. So Sharia here, literally, it means the path. Okay, in English lah, it is the path. And the path here is like the way. Okay, or it denotes the way of life as commanded or as ordained by God. Yeah, so I mean, how it's being done is through Quran. Okay, so Quran is the book. I mean, why all the definition here? Because we have another student who is non-Muslim kan, our brother, okay, another student, that one. So I mean, he also has to know about this, even though we have different religion, but then this is just for knowledge or academic discussion or purpose here, okay. So Quran, the book consisting of the God's commandments, and for Sunnah or Hadith, a practice of Prophet Muhammad. So this is Sharia. All right. So, and then for Sharia, it has two primary sources here. It's either Quran or Sunnah. So, Quran, you consists of revelation, okay, manifest revelation, or we call it Wahyu Zahir. And this Quran, okay, it is defined, I mean, it refers to communication from God to Prophet through angel Gabriel, okay, Jibril lah, in the words of God. But for Sunnah, they go together. I mean, Sunnah complements Quran. I mean, both are primary sources. Both must be there. Okay. So it refers to all that is narrated from the Prophet. So it will cover the act, okay, the sayings, and whatever tacit approval. Okay, as well as reports which describe physical attribute and character. So Sunnah covers everything about Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Okay. So when we talk about source of law or framework here, so it starts from Quran and Sunnah. But then certain area, what more IP, okay, it's not really clear whether IP it's not really mentioned. Okay, obviously it's not there in Quran Sunnah. But then how do we know whether it's legitimate from Islamic point of view here? So we have secondary resources. We have the main one. Okay, we have more. The main one is ijma, consensus, as well as qiyas or analogy. But altogether, we have okay, we have four. Okay, we have ijma, qiyas, ijtihad, and uruf as the secondary sources which support the primary source here. And then, in terms of the way, how do we extract legal rulings? This is what we know as usul fiqh. I mean, this is my basic knowledge of usul fiqh here. Okay, how do you define the word usul fiqh here? So, fiqh refers to, literal meaning, it means understanding or deep comprehension. But for Islamic studies or Islamic jurisprudence here, it refers to body of Islamic jurisprudence, and it is derived from detailed study and interpretation of Islamic law, Sharia. So through usul fiqh, so it connects Quran, Sunnah, the Sharia, okay, and then we have usul fiqh, in between, okay, and then we have fiqh, and then the ultimate things that we have is fatwa and ijtihad. How it's being done through usul fiqh. That's how I understand this particular diagram lah. Okay. And then just now, okay, the process of extracting legal rulings, okay, it involves usul fiqh and it integrates everything. Okay, integrates Quran, Sunnah, Ijma, and Qiyas lah. Okay, Qiyas is important. With contemporary reasoning and interpretation. So we have this because as we know, Islam is complete religion. So even though it's not mentioned clearly in Quran Sunnah, but then we have all the secondary sources to support or to complement, okay, to make it clear, to interpret more, okay. So for ijma, it can be defined as consensus or agreement. For qiyas, it is analogy. Okay, for ijtihad, it is legal reasoning. And for uruf, nowadays, okay, we have this customary practices which vary from one country to another country, from one society to another society. Okay, now let's have a look at some of the specific text. Okay, textual provision on okay, and ideas. Because why? When we talk about IP, okay, it all starts from ideas, creative ideas. So that's why we are looking at the text or the ayah, okay, ayat Quran, ayatul Quran, which talk about okay, knowledge and ideas. Okay, so for actually, okay, those who learn Quran, okay, or tafsir, so they know. So the word in Quran, it appears more than 100 times. So it is 105 times throughout the Quran, okay, and then actually here, okay, on top of knowledge, it covers as well science, okay, it covers learning, it covers law, it covers information. So it has a wide or broad interpretation or connotation of the word ilm here. Ilmu. Okay. But in Bahasa we call it ilmu, but in Arabic it's ilm. Alright, and then for example in Surah Az-Zumar verses 9 and Al-Mujadilah verses 11, so it emphasized the higher ranking, whoever is knowledgeable. So it has higher ranking in the eyes of law, even from perspective of religion here. For example, in Azumar, the meaning, okay, of the verse here, okay, say are those equal, those who know and those who do not know. So obviously the answer will be not equal. Okay, even nowadays, can it's not equal. Okay, those who have knowledge and those who doesn't have, those who have uh first degree and those who have second degree can, so you are now doing your second degree, and those who I think you are now doing your second degree, of course, of for your knowledge. Maybe later you want to start doing your PhD, kan? Taufik, do you have any intention to do your PhD later?
So far, not planned yet.
Oh, no plan yet. Okay, maybe
Yeah.
because usually you do masters and then you want to do your PhD later, or maybe
Yeah.
Muhammad, you want to do your PhD later, perhaps.
Yes, actually.
Yeah, good. Okay. Because we have this afternoon I sat in the committee for postgraduate students. So we go through all the current students, the new students. So we have quite a number from international. So we always welcome all our international alumni, okay, to do PhD with our faculty lah. So we are welcoming you later. Soon, because you are now completing your master's soon. So you are most welcome, okay, to do your PhD. Okay, for Al-Mujadilah, it's a longer version here. But again, it's about giving specific position, okay, to those who deserve it. So here it is stated, or you who believe, your Lazina Manu, I think, okay, here, when you are told to make room in the assemblies or spread out and make room, Emperor, okay, emperor will make good provide for you. And when you are, I mean, this is the meaning, okay, the interpretation. When you are told to rise up, God will rise up to suitable ranks, okay, and degree. I mean, certain ranking given to those who have knowledge, lah. Those of you who believe and who have been granted knowledge, and God is well acquainted with all you do. So this is some of the example, meaning that here, knowledge, okay, or being knowledgeable, being acquainted with ilm, you have higher rank in the eyes of law. What more, in the eyes of people, I mean, it's similar. I mean, in the eyes of law, so we recognize, okay, those who have knowledge, the ilm, or ideas, creative ideas to relate with IP. Okay, so when we talk about importance of knowledge here, so we have all this example. Okay, for example, I mean, the verse which relates to this. Iqra kan. So Iqra relates to pursuit of knowledge. I mean, you are asked, you are commanded to, you are instructed to read, okay, in to pursue knowledge. And then you are supposed to do ibadah, okay, the acts of worship here. And ibadah, we have like the specific one and the main one. I mean, to study is also part of ibadah, other than the act of prayer, for example. And then in terms of knowledge, you are supposed to share, or you are supposed to spread the knowledge here. Okay. We have the verse, okay, which talk about I mean, you're not supposed to conceal the truth, okay, whenever you know about it. And then we have position of alim, okay, who are recognized as of the prophet. So we really recognize, okay, those with ilm. Okay, and then so all this thing, the discussion just now, actually it reinforced, okay, the pursuit of knowledge as an act of worship in Islam. For example, in Sahih Bukhari, okay, it also stated, or it explains, it is essential to know a thing first before saying upon it. I mean, to verify. Okay, and then the religious scholars are inheritors of the prophet. I mean, they are the one who will spread, okay, whatever knowledge, okay, to the whole world. Okay, but now let's relate to our IP. Okay, we are discussing about IP. Okay, this is the recurring discourse lah, keep on happening, or even is debatable. Okay, because why? People keep on asking, or people is searching. Because why? We don't have any adillah syariah, or the direct proof or evidence, okay, or authorities which say, oh, IP is recognized, or we can allow monopoly, or we should recognize the rights of the one who create the creative things or inventor. Okay, so that's why it leads to some Muslim scholars to argue, okay, they have the view that notion of IP here is absent in Islam. So meaning that here, oh, we don't recognize, you cannot really claim rights over your creation, okay, for example. And then what more, if we look at primary sources, Quran and Sunnah, it contains minimal guidance, okay, on modern commercial transaction. And if we look at all the verses, okay, throughout Quran, it has 10 verses, I mean minimal, not many, okay, as compared to the word ilm just now. So 10 verses related to trade, and 7 verses relating to riba. And then if you read the book by Hashim Kamali, he's one of, he was with us last time, okay? Hashim Kamali, he's a very well-known, okay, I mean, ulama, or even jurist, okay, here, legal jurist. So Hashim Kamali, he said, Quran has little guidance on modern commercial matters. So, I mean, it is actually a blessing. Okay, I mean, why little guidance here? Because in this area, Muslim they are asked to use their own endeavor. Okay, so they are given freedom, okay, to use their knowledge to develop rules to fit the need for that. I mean, to cater for that industry, for that area, for commerce, for trade. I mean, little guidance mean that here you are free so long it tallies, okay, with all the guidance, or with the teachings of Islam lah, with the teachings of Quran and Sunnah. Okay. It's a blessing in that sense. Okay, the third subtopic for tonight, okay, recognition of IP. I mean, now we are looking at whether IP is recognized as wealth or mal, okay, in fiqh here. Because why? Okay, we recognize IP. IP could be viewed as having certain tangible and intangible value. I mean, how to make it relevant? Okay, what's the source? Okay, what's the origin here? How to relate? Okay, we are looking at some okay, I mean Muslim scholarship work here. So classical fiqh work as well as modern or contemporary work. So in classical work, of course, it is in Arabic lah. So Muhammad will know better. Okay, I mean your first language is Arabic kan in Yemen, isn't it? Isn't it, Muhammad?
Yes, yes,
So
yes,
you
yes, bro.
so you speak Arabic lah actually as your I mean your mother's tongue.
Yeah, yeah, I speak Arabic.
I was in secondary school and I learned Arabic as well, but I know how to write, but because I rarely use it to speak, so a limited spoken language and what no rusty already because secondary school. Okay, so it's
Yeah,
not
that's it.
really lovely the language. Okay, so Arabic. So example here, okay, classical fake word, Al-Qurafi. Okay, I mean we take example of Al-Qurafi. Okay, later we learn what he said. And then for modern or contemporary case, so we have all the sources written in English and Arabic. So example here, we have a work by S.H. Amin. So he wrote on IP, I mean, intellectual and industrial property in the Middle East. So he covers that aspect. It was published in 1992. Okay, and then there's also another work in also another topic. Okay, also published in 1992. This one from Hesish Amin. Okay, for just now Al-Qurafi, the classical fake work here. Okay, so the important or relevant part of his work or discussion or article or writing here. So he was of the view and he wrote that, well, the sale of the book is valid. Okay, even though ilm does not have pecuniary value. I mean, we cannot really put a value for the ilm, the knowledge. But when we reduce into writing, we make it a book. So can you sell the book? Yes, it's allowed to be sold. So we can see, I mean, we can attach certain value to the book here, and then the book contain ilm. All right. So now, and then actually, what is being sold? What is being traded here is mere paper and ink. And then, can we separate paper and ink, the book here with ilm? He said, no, cannot. So here, ilm does not have a separate or distinct existence. Okay. And then, that one, ilm and book. And then he also makes some writing on ijtihad. He said, well, those who is able to come up with ijtihad, but can it be inherited? The ability to make ijtihad cannot. Okay, here, so it cannot be inherited by the heir, by the children, for example. Okay, they have to become mujtahid on their own. Okay, it cannot be inherited. So, uh, ilm or ideas here, okay, must follow the intellect. And ideas cannot be alienated separately. I mean, it is with the creator, with the author. So we cannot separate it. Okay. And then whatever rights given to these knowledgeable people here, okay, rights over ideas are really personal. So this is the view by classical jurists. They are trying to justify the recognition of IP here. All right, but for contemporary scholars, I mean, we have a divided view here. Okay, we have minority, we have majority, but majority of the scholars, they recognize, okay, IP as a part of wealth here. Okay, and then we should give ownership, okay, or ownership rights here, to IP, like any other property. And then in terms of wealth or mal here, from perspective of Muslim scholars, we can divide into three here. Okay, the first one we have ain, dine, and manfaah. Okay, so ain is the physical things here, tangible assets. But dine is not tangible, but it is something which relates to liability. Okay, something which you cannot touch. But for manfaah, okay, it is the or benefit. Okay, manfaat. We have the term in bahasa. Okay, manfaat. So manfaat from the word Arabic word. So manfaat refers to utility or benefit. Okay, so benefit from the asset. Okay, from ain just now, which can provide or distinct from the asset physical substance. I mean, they are all together, but is able to be separated lah. Okay, so and majority of the contemporary or modern scholars, they recognize mal or wet, and IP is recognized. Okay. All right. And then another contemporary scholars, we are looking at Dr. Fatih Al-Duraini. Okay. Here he wrote that majority of scholars, especially from Maliki, Shafi'i, Hambali. So the school, I mean, from these three school of thought here, they recognize, okay, that copyrights over authentic and beneficial creations, they are considered as valuable wealth. So they provide utility, they provide benefit. So we should recognize, we should give rights, okay, to the creator or to the inventor, to the author. And then IPR RIP rights, okay, rights plural. So they are recognized and protected within Islamic jurisprudence, okay, because why? What's the reason? They constitute valuable wealth. I mean, it comes together with the elements of money lah here, okay, it can be commercialized. And then Dr. Fatih, he supports the application of Islamic legal principles to modern context. So it will ensure the preservation of individual rights and the promotion justice. So this is all the view by Dr. Fatih Al-Duraini, representing contemporary scholars. Okay, in relation to ibadah, I mean, ilm, and then we also have the term or the concept of ibadah here. Okay, so ibadah, it will cover, I mean, laboring on knowledge, okay, it's also part of ibadah. And then when people recite ayah, or it can be mahar, I mean, it has some value attached to it. Okay, in terms of it's taken from hadith. And then even at certain period of time, okay, narrators of hadith, they are being paid, okay, for recitation of hadith. I mean, it is I mean their or their value is being recognized. And then during Khulafa Rashidun, okay, I mean wages for soldiers in holy war. I mean there's payment of certain wages lah for soldiers. This is done during Khulafa or Rashidun, especially during Umar, I think. And then also during Umar al-Khattab and even all the four schools of thought, they recognize, okay, wages for imam. What more nowadays? Okay, so whatever religious post, so it comes with wages lah. That one I think under uh okay, uruf kan, okay, under the secondary sources just now, okay, it can be under ijtihad, it can be under uruf, customary practice. Okay, let's go to historical approach. I mean, recognition of IPRs in Muslim medieval history. Example. Okay. And then from the, I mean, this is taken from Ibn Khaldun. Okay. So here, treat how authors write. And this is for copyright. Okay. Authors write is being treated, okay, given treatment during Muslim medieval history. So there was, I mean, very specific or very loud, very clear, okay, condemnation of plagiarism. I mean, we don't support, we don't allow, okay, we don't authorize plagiarism, okay, the acts of copying or lifting lines from poem, meaning that here we recognize copyright. And then there's also oral transmission of knowledge and manuscript writing. I mean, this all lead to recognition of the rights given to the authors here. And then what more can we have craft and textile late, I mean, during Muslim medieval history, poetry, bookbinding, okay, and then it's signed with author's name and date. I mean, we recognize the right of authors given. So this is all from Ibn Khaldun in the writing. This is all study made, okay. This is, for example, there's a book published in 1981. It talk about, I mean, it discuss thoroughly, okay, the Islamic intellectual history and all the intellectual movement. What more, whatever relevant for intellectual works lah, which relates to IP. And then another justification, okay, for IP. I mean, why it is being recognized. I mean, we have recognition for sanad or chain of narration. Okay, even though it's not IP per se, but more or less is comparable to IP. More or less is related to IP. Because for under sanad for hadith, I think, isn't it? Okay, to make sure it is the correct hadith. The correct assertion of source and then integrity of the content and moral rights of the narrators. So all this thing is also recognized under IP. So sana is comparable to IP. So in a way, IP is being recognized. It's being in from perspective of Islam. And then also the concept of ijazah, okay, related to IP as well, okay, or certification. So we have ijazah bil fatwa, okay, to transmit, or ijazah bil tadris to transmit and teach, and ijazah bil tadris wal fatwa. This one to transmit, to teach, and to develop further fatwa, but must have certain certification, okay, or ijazah. We call it ijazah. So even in bahasa, okay, Muhammad, the ijazah refers to your first degree. That one, you are learning to receive or to obtain ijazah. So, but here ijazah means certification lah, right, from Arabic term. Okay, and for amal, okay, just now ijazah, amal, or sanad. So this is labor theory. Okay, so concept is amal. This one is closely linked to earning, kasab. Okay, earning or acquisition. So again, it emphasized human effort as a legitimate source of wealth and ownership. So Ibn Khaldun, for example, so he emphasized that labor and effort, so it creates value. And this one, it justify ownership. So we recognize the author's ownership over his work. And then the author, okay, from the work here, from the labor, from the effort, they gain profit. I mean, they have gains and profit, okay, and then the value realized lah from human labor. So it's possible to generate income through this labor under this labor theory. Okay, last but not least, the discussion for tonight, maqasid approach or maqasid syariah. Why is important? Because especially in IIUM, we really emphasize or stress on this. Here, okay, for maqasid syariah, generally it means objective kan to achieve certain objective in Syariah, but technically, okay, it has higher meaning here, alright. It has a higher objective instead of literal interpretation, okay, of Adillah Syariah. What more, Imam Al-Ghazali, the famous Imam Al-Ghazali, so he emphasized on the five basic principles, okay, the deen, okay, deen, nafs, akal, nas, and amal. So all this right here, I mean, they are prescribed by the Sharia. What's the reason here? Okay, to protect all these basic principles here, to promote certain maslahah or positive societal or religious value. And then when we talk about IP, it's always about clashes of rights here. Is it meant for private right or is it for public right as a whole? Can we allow monopoly in order to give rights to private ownership rather than to allow people to share everything, okay, without acknowledging monopoly, for example? So that's why under private right for IP here, we have the right to collect royalty for the authors, okay, or for the inventor, and the right to control reproduction. But then, if we were to make it public right as a whole, I mean, no one is owning anything here. So it is about human rights, or even later, it's about climate change, and then also access to medicine. Because there's also argument that medicine, there shouldn't be any monopoly. I mean, everybody should have access, equal access to medicine. If you cannot pay, then you cannot get the medicine, for example. If you allow patent rights over medicine, for example. Okay, there's all the discussion later when we talk about public health, okay, for under patent. And this one is for IIUM specifically, okay, it talk about all the objective for maqasid here. And as you can see, okay, we have 1 until 17, but for ICOL or for law, number 16. This one also in SDG, Sustainable Development Goals. So for number 16, okay, the objective, okay, is to achieve peace, justice, and strong institution. So it relates to a law lah, okay, or legal framework. So it relates to ICOL, Ahmad Ibrahim Kula of Laws. Okay, last part of discussion tonight is about fatwa. Okay, I think Muhammad knows better. Okay, so fatwa derived from the word fataya. Okay, fataya. Is it fataya? Which means to clarify or to explain. Okay, but in Islamic jurisprudence, yes, we have fatwa, but is it binding? It is non-binding. Okay, it's merely opinion. It's non-binding. And who actually creates or who provided? It is given by Mufti or Islamic jurist. And why is that so? In what situation? In response to specific query and usually related to religious matter, ethical matter, or even legal matters. So, in terms of IP, okay, we are looking at all the fatwa around the world, okay, which recognize trademark, okay, which recognize copyright, which recognize patent. And then the moment it is being recognized as the rights, so it can be traded, okay, and it is protected under Sharia and principle. I mean, protected legally, okay, under the law, no problem. But is it protected under Sharia? Yes, it is, okay, by virtue of fatwa. Okay, let's travel around the world, but we don't have from Yemen here all the fatwa. Okay, this one fatwa from Kuwait, okay, Kuwait here. The Council of Islamic Fiqh Academy in Kuwait 1988. So they make a very important resolution. So they resolve three things here. First, they said, okay, all the IP, okay, can be traded, and then this right recognized by Sharia and should not be infringed. And then the second one related to the first one, it can, I mean, it's permitted to sell a business name. I mean, it can be sold. And last, the third one, copyright and patents specifically, they are protected by Sharia, and their holders, their owners are entitled to freely dispose them. I mean, you can insist on your right, or you can give it freely because you have the right over your IP here. And this right should not be violated, should not be infringed. Basically, this is all the resolution fatwa, okay, by Fiqh Academy. Okay, for UAE, okay, its Grand Mufti. Yeah, infringement of copyright haram. Why is haram? The Mufti says so. So Dubai Grand Mufti says that whatever infringement of a copyright, so including patents, including trademark, it is haram. So this one reported in as early as 2014 lah. So just now this one 1988. So in UAE, Dubai, so haram, it becomes haram in 2014. Okay. And then in Saudi, this one from Permanent Committee for Scholarly Research and IFTA, or General Presidency Scholarly Research and IFTA. So this one, they say, I mean, by important here, it provides ruling on copying computer programs, okay, emphasizing adherence to copyright rules as per Islamic jurisprudence. I mean, it's focused on software. I mean, it's haram to copy computer software. I mean, we have to respect the owners. Okay, I mean, it's haram to copy without permission, basically. Okay, and then this one in Saudi. This one in Egypt. So we don't have any from Yemen. I mean, I don't have example here. So from Egypt, it talk about a brand name or trademark here. Okay. This one in 2019 by the Mufti, yeah, Dr. Shauki Ibrahim Alam. So he was a Egypt Mufti. And then he said, I mean, this is his fatwa, wrongful to copy what? A brand name owned by others without consent. Just now is about computer program. Now brand name, all the luxury brand, for example. Because why? This copying act, it is a deceit. Okay, it's like you are making deception lah to others kan. You cannot copy without without the consent or authorization. And then for Muslim, okay, they should not indulge in sale of counterfeit goods or piracy lah. This is all the issues of piracy. Okay, let's go to last part of our discussion tonight. I mean, we are having just a short class tonight, not the full 2 hours, okay? So for analysis, so what do we learn throughout the discussion tonight? I mean, basically, it's possible to divide into two, okay? The opinion here, okay? Because why? Why this analysis? There is no direct reference, okay, to IP protection in the two primary sources. So we are looking at all the secondary sources to support to complement or to complete, to make it clear, okay, whatever things are in the primary sources here. So the first view, some scholars, even the minority, okay, some scholars, they say there is no recognition of IP because why? Quran and Hadith doesn't mention anything about IP. But now the contemporary view, okay, scholars, they say yes, IP is recognized, even though Quran has little guidance on commercial matters. But Muslim can use their ijtihad, okay, their fatwa, to say whether it's haram or halal to copy, okay, without permission here. Even some discussion about whether it's equivalent to theft. When you copy, you are taking without permission, or is it a theft actually? It's like you are stealing, okay, the rights of others, even though it's stealing tangible property here. Okay, let's conclude for tonight's discussion. So we have four boxes here, 4 points. So the first one, so in Islamic jurisprudence, so it's normal for Muslim scholars so to apply multiplicity approaches. I mean, we can have fatwa, we can have ijtihad, okay, we can have uruf for one subject matter. It's possible. Okay, and then as long as using adillah syariah, okay, proof or precedents or authorities from primary sources. I mean, we can still link to Quran and Sunnah, even though we are using the secondary sources. Like we learned just now, okay, a great detail of fake in IP here, they are actually juristic opinion. I mean, all the opinion of legal jurists, opinion by Mufti, for example. And then last but not least, okay, while there are no direct references to IP in primary sources, yes, understood, but Islamic jurisprudence is meant to cater for all the people in all time. Okay, here. So Islamic jurisprudence allows for adaptation, okay, of rule to address modern needs. Okay, what more to ensure alignment with Sharia objective. So that's why even a Sharia principle or whatever secondary sources here is meant to cover AI juga later kan. I mean whether AI what's the position of AI here? Is it legitimate okay, in the eyes of law, for example? I mean what's the law governing AI? So later lah that one. But now for IP, so basically we have two divided opinion, but majority or the stronger view will say it is legitimate. Okay, based on the secondary sources which is still okay aligned to Sharia objective or maqasid syariah. Agree or not? Muhammad, do you agree with all the conclusion here? What's the position in Yemen with regards to IP law?
They have IP laws, and
Mm-hmm.
it's governed by a
Do they have
national.
fatwa similar to Saudi, just now Kuwait or UAE? Is it similar in terms of fatwa?
From Islamic perspective, I'm not sure, but I think yeah, because we have a national law and we have only one law. There is no conventional law in Yemen, so there
I
is.
see.
So
Is it similar to
yeah,
Saudi? Because Saudi, I mean, we know that they have all the Islamic
yeah,
law.
yeah, yeah. We
Hmm,
have Sharia and law. So Sharia is the primary source in Yemen. So yeah,
I
it
see.
applies.
Yeah, yeah. So
And from
basically,
my own
IP is
perspective, I
recognized.
think yeah, even though it's not directly
Mm-hmm.
applied, I mean the or been mentioned
Mm-hmm.
the IP. I think yeah, it is also so it can be protected in Islam because it's kind of stealing, stealing the property
Yeah,
of
true.
something
Stealing, yeah,
or
equivalent
the
to
ideas
stealing.
also. It's like, for example, if I hack Tawfiq's bank account, so yeah, there is no bank accounts during Prophet's era, but
Yeah.
now it's
Mm.
haram, so it's the same
Alright.
thing.
Yeah, true, true. Yeah, understood. Thank you. So, I mean, in your country, you don't have any specific law for IP law. I mean, you don't have Patents Act, you don't have a Copyright Act, or I mean, all those
No,
acts.
no, we do have
Oh, you do
IP.
have. I
Yeah,
see.
yeah, we do have.
So, no problem. Okay, I think we have concluded everything for tonight's lecture. I mean, it's meant to cover intro as well as Islamic perspective on IP. I mean, sometimes we do ask students in even in the exam, I mean, to write their view. What do you think of Islamic perspective on IP? I mean, you can write whatever view that you have lah. But sometimes we do have, sometimes we do ask, sometimes we don't. But usually for exams later, I will narrow down all the topics that you have to read, so you will know whether you have to study this topic for your exam or not later lah. Okay, that one once we are done with all the lectures. So no worry. I'm going to share the slide with you. No worries about that. So for next week, we are going to cover on copyright. Okay, 2 weeks to cover on copyrights, especially for in relation to digital area lah. Okay, and AI as well. So any question before before we close our or before we adjourn our class? Taufik, are you still there?
Yes,
Yeah.
bro.
So I hope you I mean you are following. Tonight is nothing much. I mean not really complicated for tonight's class. Mm. So
Bro,
so
I
far,
want to ask a question
yeah.
regarding criminal prosecution for
Mm-mm.
IP infringement.
Mm-mm.
Normally in Malaysia, which court have jurisdiction for IP infringement? And what measure of IO will investigate?
IP courts lah. I mean, it depends whether is it criminal or is it civil action or not. If criminal, of course lah, we go through PP, the public prosecutor. But the backup will be the owner lah. I mean, they are the one who file a complaint. But they are not looking to get the measures of compensation. They want to penalize, okay? They want to whatever action, okay? But not to get money from them. They could be, I mean, the defendant, the infringer could be sued and then could be penalized, could be made to pay penalty. But then they are not paying the money to the owner. Okay, in order to get money, you have to go through civil action. Possible. I mean, you can have both together, criminal and civil.
Oh,
Possible. And IP court will hear okay all those cases or claims lah. Later we're going to learn all the cases. Thanks for asking.
Okay, thank you, bro.
Right. Okay, Muhammad, any last word before we conclude our class for tonight?
Uh, yes, I just have one primary question actually, since this is the introduction. Do you
Mhm.
think that there is a similarity between all IP laws in the world, I mean the jurisdiction, or is there is a big difference? For example, the common law countries or our countries, the civil law.
Generally is similar. I mean, it's meant to WIPO is the body which is the role is to standardize or at least minimum standard imposed to all. But if you want to have higher standard or the stricter law, it's possible. But at least the minimum is all the same, similar. Especially it is done through trips. It's possible to force all country to apply similar law. But then in terms of enforcement could be different. But the black letter law, okay, the law that you read in your statute is similar, that one. So even requirements are similar. Patent requirements are all similar in all the countries. Later, when you go to respective topic, then we'll know in US how, in UK how, in Malaysia how, or like that. In Europe how.
Okay, thank you, both.
Okay, thanks for asking. All right, good question. Okay, so I'll see everyone again next week, inshallah, on Wednesday, the same timing. And we have another student lah to join us next week. Okay. Okay. Alhamdulillah. Thanks a lot. Okay. I'll see you next week. Bye.
Okay, assalamu alaikum.
Okay,
Waalaikumsalam
Assalamualaikum.
warahmatullah. I need to stop record.